Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. This is the week of Christmas. It is also the week of Kwanzaa, which starts the day after. Believe we're in Hanukkah season, Ramadan next month, Diwali next month, I believe. Everything's going on, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. I'm happy to see everyone. As you can see, I am back here in the location where I generally do my lives, my reviews, my recaps, my opinions. The one this morning is Real Housewives of Potomac. So we had a good episode last night. Real Housewives of Potomac, we are on season 10. We're episode 12. This is the recap, the opinion, the rant. Potomac, ponies, and problems. Good morning, Sharon Gobble. I'm so happy to see you here during the live. Good to see you. Anyone that comes in during the live, please click the like button. Team Replay, thank you so much for your support and coming in. And if you would also click the like button as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me mute for one moment and then turn on Do Not Disturb. Excuse me, I should have done that before I started. Okay, thank you. I am back. Hopefully I won't get knocked off the live or anything like that. So what I'm going to do here is start the review. And then as people come in, Sharon is here. If you've watched the episode, we'll go through what we think about it. I thought it was a pretty good episode. A lot of different things going on. So we are starting where we left off last week. Excuse me. This tacky, terrible event, Wendy is the co-host of with Gizelle, Potomac and Ponies. But this episode is Potomac and Ponies and Problems. So bravo, you're not that creative. You just added problems. So Wendy is twirling, she's doing all that. The people say you got evicted. Angel is still sitting there trying to explain herself. Angel, we know you're season 1. We know you are wearing my season 1 cloak of immunity, but you need to do a little more to defend yourself. I didn't like how Angel was coming across, constantly trying to explain. Welcome in, Mama B is one of my moderators. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. Good to see you. Oh, wait a minute. Let me hide this. Because it looks like you have a username or something there. So we're not going to do that. I'll just time you out unless that was a mistake or something. All right. Angela, Peralta, thank you. Oh, I just meant to time you out, but it looks like more than that happened, but that is okay. Work your way back if you're supposed to be here. So Angel is still explaining herself. And while she's talking, Gizelle is asking Jazzy, so what's going on? Gizelle is so rude. Gizelle is doing everything in her power to diminish Angel. Y'all have asked this lady about the status of how she left short-term housing. Gizelle, you have lied and said she got evicted. But now she's playing crazy, acting stupid. And I don't know if it's an act, because sometimes Gizelle can pretend to be a little off. What's going on? And Jazzy's like, well, she's trying to explain this, that, and the other. So I don't like what's going on here. Gizelle says, that's strange. Gizelle, you're strange. This is ridiculous. We get confessional Ashley in that leather suit that is wearing her. Because Ashley and her new stylist, I don't care. Ashley, we still know what you were when you first came on that show. You're still that. Just a few years older and one ghoulish husband less. I congratulate Ashley on that. But I think Michael he wanted to be over with her too. So she is lying. Let me look up eviction. Looks up eviction. She reads the definition, but here's the lie. That's exactly what happened. That is not exactly what happened. My understanding of what Angel said that she didn't have the dates correct on the lease, meaning that by the time the lease was over and she thought she was going to be able to extend it if she needed to, someone else had rented that property. Now, this had to do with filming. Ashley thought she was being cute. Well, people are saying that you moved here to be a part of this group. We get Angel in the confessionals laughing. Are you saying I'd be here to be closer to Ashley, Gizelle, and Wendy? And she's laughing. Angel, we need more of this energy in the person's face, because the confessional thing, That's good. You get points for that, but it's not enough. So they are interrogating Angel. The little baby has moved to where she's sitting right next to her mommy. So Gaia's sitting there. We see the camera keeps focusing on Bobby, who's with their other child. We know they have two children. They have a little boy, Cush. I love that name, Cush. It's a biblical name. Cush is actually about 4 years old or so. So Bobby's with him, and they focus on Bobby. Bobby got Cush lifted clear over his head, but Bobby's still keeping an eye on what's going on. So Tia, Wendy, all these ladies have so many questions. Sharon is saying what it is. Angel is going to have to step it up. Yes, because she's a target. And I feel like the newer ladies are usually targets, but Tia, because she was brought in by Gizelle, it has not been a target. Gizelle tested her a little bit, even though she brought her in. Tia backed Gizelle right up off her with the fashion thing. And Tia is a little more quick with her mouth, and she's able to get them off her a little bit better. So they're not really messing with Tia. Of course, they're fixated on Stacy, who this is her sophomore season, but they're still treating Stacy like a newbie. And then Angel is now a target because they know she's an easy target. They had her crying in Nevis. Even after Gizelle apologized, Angel was still sulking. And they know Angel's sensitive and they can get under her skin. Now, supposedly there's a mean girl underneath, head of the WAGs, the head girl in charge of the WAGs. We need to see more of that, Angel. I'm not telling Angel not to be mean. Angel needs to do whatever she needs to do to defend herself. So for some reason we get, I believe it's because Sharice came in. So here's your girl, Sharice, Sharon. Sharice, one thing about Sharice knows how to still keep her place on this show. She's not a friend of or anything like that, but because she is who she is around Potomac, she's going to get invitations to any event that they have, and then they can film her or not, but Sharice is still here, okay? Bobby is not feeling this group at all. He's not, and now they're going to start lying on him. I really want him to be careful, but I think he's naturally wary of women like this anyway. So Sharon's laughing. Here comes Sharice. Sharice is in the cowboy theme, but it's kind of lingerie underneath. So it was so funny when she walks up to Stacy and speaks to TMO as well. We get a confessional from Stacy going, "Oh, here comes Sharice, slithering in like a snake. What is she doing here? Why are you talking to me? Be gone." You know, Stacy would get on her QBC, so that was pretty funny. So I think because Sharice came in, Bravo gives us a flashback. There was a lunch with Gizelle, Ashley, and Sharice. So of course, they're still filming with Sharice. At this lunch, Ashley is saying, "Well, one time I was a little bit tipsy," and they were laughing about this, okay, that Ashley was drunk. Ashley, just say you were drunk. And Sharice's son Jackson. He has the face of Sharice. He came in with her as well. He might have came in after, but he's at the same event. He's very nice looking. He's a model, but he has Sharice's face, only with, you know how Black people use coffee to describe us. He has a few more dollops of cream, okay? So he's a lighter skinned version of Sharice. Nice looking, tall young man, square angles, all of that. He comes in and Sharice is like, "Oh, Ashley's over there." He hugs Ashley. But at this lunch, they let us know, Ashley's like, "I don't know how I'm going to tell you this, if I was ever going to admit this." She's telling Sharice that she and Jackson shared a kiss. Now, a couple different things happen. She's acting like, she does a confessional where, "Oh, he invited me in. He came into the door. I think he came in to use the restroom." She mentioned something that a little more happened. Now, y'all watched Ashley, a little bit of her on Watch What Happens Live. I can't remember. She was on there with Toya. I watched clips because, like I said, Andy Cohen puts me to sleep. I can't remember if she's saying more happened or not. Now, Ashley's in her late 30s. They tell us on the screen that she's 37. Jackson is now 27, but let me know what y'all think about this. Welcome in, Keywan J. Welcome in, Lou Skunt. Hey, everyone that is coming in, thank you so much that's coming in. And what I'm going to do is ban anybody that is looking for attention or anything like that. We'll go ahead and just ban you, okay? And anybody that is, I'm not sure why any and everybody's coming in, but for some reason, it must be on, excuse me, y'all. Hey, everybody. Hey, Keywan JTV. Thank you so much. CC, thank you for coming in. Mama 59 Works. There's my sister. Thank you. CC 8441. Cece, I'm not sure if I noticed that they always had those numbers there. That is just Cece. We don't have to do all those numbers. That is Cece, my friend and moderator, one of the A1 day ones, along with Mama B's. Kiwan JTV is a content creator as well, excuse me, not at all. She is a content creator as well. I'm trying to read these comments, and some of them were a little silly, and so my brain went somewhere else. Okay, so Jackson is 10 years younger than Ashley. Ashley's 37. Jackson is 27. Now we are in season 10. So she came in maybe season 2 or 3. She came a couple of seasons in. So Ashley has known him since he was underage. So this is where I'm going with this. I don't understand why. Thank you for being in the bushes, Kiwan. I don't understand why Jackson and thank you so much for helping me with the comments, y'all. I appreciate it. And Mama 59 works. If anyone new comes in the chat, just go ahead and time them out if the comment is not related or if we're not already talking about the show. Okay, thank you to all of my moderators and people in the bushes. Thank you. So Jackson's 10 years younger than Ashley. Ashley shared a kiss with this young man. Sharice is acting like it's okay because Ashley ends up saying, if it didn't end there, would you be okay with it? What do you mean by that, Ashley, if it didn't end there? So that's why I think it might have been more than a kiss. I'm not sure. And I think she alluded to something else. I'm not sure if she did it on the show or watch What Happens Live, because that's the downside. It starts to like run all together when you watch other things about the show. The other thing that annoyed me is that Gizelle made a comment a couple of episodes ago. Stacey's not safe to be around husbands and children. Ashley is actually not safe to be around husbands and children. I have a real problem with that. So Wendy, the other ladies are listening in because this conversation that they had at lunch has spilled over to what's going on now at this event that is still ongoing. And Wendy, we get different confessionals with the ladies kind of giving their take on it. Wendy's right at the table saying, don't touch my kids. And Wendy has teen sons. So the people that think it's okay for a 10-year age difference, a mom's friends, she's friends with the mom. Even though Sharice is older than her, Sharice's contemporary. They work the same job, they attend the same events, and she met Jackson as a teen. So I don't like this, especially with Gizelle now that she can make comments about who's safe to be around children or not. And we find out it's Ashley. I agree with Wendy. Don't leave my kids alone. Don't be around my kids like that. We get a really funny confessional from Kiana saying, Ashley is not safe to be around. She says, hide your young sons, your old sons, your daddies. I agree with her. So I want to know where Gizelle stands on this. This is the kind of thing I hope Angel and Stacey bring up at the reunion and throw right at Ashley and throw right at Gizelle. So we get a confession from Stacey saying, I don't know why she's disclosing this. I would have taken this to the grave. So I felt that was kind of ridiculous. Sharice also introduced herself and Stacey introduced her to TMO. So that was pretty funny. Stacey escorts TMO right out and production clocks him. Production, we don't need you to do that. They clock his attendance. It's 32 minutes. I bet a lot of other husbands wish they could attend somewhere a half hour too. So Wendy being a pick-Misha, Wendy, we want you to stop doing that, okay? Sharon Gobble said Jackson is a good person. Yeah, I liked him. He seemed like a really nice young man. He really did. And Kiwan JTV says, I heard about that. Oh my God, Ashley act like Michael. Yeah, in my opinion, Ashley can be a little bit predatory. I'll put a comment up. Okay, I will put a comment up because I feel like Ashley can be a little bit predatory. I really do. And y'all, everything on this channel is just my own opinion, and it's under the Copyright Act of 1976. Please like the live. Thank you all for coming in during the live. Team Replay, thank you as well. I really appreciate you as well. I'm trying to scroll my comments up, but let me not pay attention to that. There was one I wanted to catch and wasn't able to, but I'll try to remove that later. So I like Jackson, but I'm not sure why he was at this event. It didn't look like a fun event. Gizelle calls everybody over. They start playing these games. They have one of those sack races. Gizelle accuses, oh, you know the family? Yeah, he does seem like he's a very nice young man. Miss Sandra, I feel like I'm going to be cussing in my reviews. Well, I'm going to come over there and watch it because there's a couple of people that need to get cussed out. And we're going to come up with a few more of them toward the end. Mama Susan does way too much toward the end. Ugh. And Ashley, probably every episode, she could end up getting cussed out. So Wendy, being a pick-me, she runs right over to Gizelle and Ashley talking about TMO left. And Gizelle was like, wait a minute, he left? Giselle's acting like she's HR, standing by the time clock. I didn't like this. She says, why are we accommodating this? Why are we entertaining this? And Ashley's like, yeah, why are we letting them get away with it? The two manless women. And who cares if someone is a single woman at an event or a divorcee, as these two are at an event, but then you want other women to bring their husbands so their husbands can be lied on and abused. And then you get mad when they dip out early. Tiamo was there for Arabella and for Stacy. So Arabella also, production cuts to her and she rolled her eyes. So Arabella, you wanted your dad to stay more because he didn't take part in any events. So Arabella was annoyed he left too, but Arabella can be annoyed. Gizelle and Ashley have no right to be upset that this man tipped out, and he should have. I feel like Bobby didn't even want to be there. Like he said, we'll be there when we get there. Says, why are we entertaining this? And then we got Ashley acting like a minion, the new Robin. So I feel like Stacy's right to not require her husband to be around while these ladies are going to attack him. I don't like that at all. Sandra P and team, I intend to catch these what seems like trolls. Thank you, Mama 59 Works. I appreciate it. I have a few moderators in here, but I know some of them help out and they're at work and doing other things and greeting everyone. So I appreciate that. Anyone that catches someone, I appreciate it. You kind of know the same people. There are some new people. I appreciate the new people, but most new people, sometimes they'll hang in the bushes or they'll just speak or they'll have a general question, but we wouldn't see like crazy comments, kind of like what I'm seeing. Yeah, Kiwan J is saying, go away, trolls. Okay, and I feel like this is what I put a note about Gizelle. You have lied on every single husband, current and past, and I don't blame Timu or Stacy. We hear that Timu has a high-powered executive position with one of the automakers. I'm not sure if it's Audi, one of the German automakers. I don't blame him. He wants Stacy to have her job. Stacy clearly enjoys doing this. She's a raging success at it for now. So I appreciate him showing up, but I wouldn't lose my position for these two bums, Gizelle and Ashley, either. Eddie's in a circle talking to the men. Eddie actually greeted TMO and then, nice to meet you, this and that. Hope to see you again. He's greeting the men. He's smiling. And they're like, oh, we know you're happy. You're smiling. Y'all, this is Eddie's demeanor. We wouldn't know if Eddie was happy or sad because he is a happy person generally. He said, yeah, we've been almost 15 years. Production leaves in where Eddie says, Wendy wants a new ring. Wendy, you just ain't going to do right, are you? Wendy, I don't like how production is leaving in all of these money comments on Wendy. So Wendy wants a new ring. And Giselle's sitting at the table. They've moved to another location again. They're serving this potluck. Some of the stuff looks good. We know Wendy brought the already eaten Popeye's chicken. Stacy has made the potato salad, which looks pretty good, even though Wendy gave her that assignment as kind of a joke. They want to tease her a little bit. Ashley is trying to take Stacy's black card that Ashley doesn't have black cards to give out because Mama Sheila doesn't count. She's been under the bridge with that white man for years, working 13 or 14 hours for him, working herself into bad health, and she does not have any black cards to give Ashley to give or take to Stacy. Stacy, the potato salad looked good. Now, when she was trying to serve the children, they didn't really want it. She was trying to put a little bit on Cameron's plate. Y'all know Cameron's my girl. That's Wendy's little girl. And she gives her some of it. And she kind of questioned the plates. She said, oh, the Donald Trump plate? And she said, no, this is just an American flag. Cameron said, same thing. Y'all, Cameron has cooled on this flag just like me. Ever since certain people co-opted it, I really don't see it for it like that. So that was pretty funny. Ashley is the new Robin. Sharon says, exactly. Ashley's a new Robin. Yes. Angela A., my moderator. Welcome in. So glad to see you. I have to call you. Sharon Gobble, I don't blame him. I would have left that party also. He was there just long enough to just poke his head in, okay? Angela A. is one of the moderators. She hadn't seen Sharon Gobble in here a little bit, and she is speaking to her. Sharon says, Angela A., good morning. So, yeah, I don't blame him. I would have gotten out of here, too. Cece's saying something that's fair. My kids never like potato or macaroni salad, so I get it. Yeah, it's something about, it's just a certain acquired taste. Even when the adults were eating, Wendy's trying to tease Eddie. Eddie, you didn't eat your potato salad. He's like, I'll taste it. He took a really small bite, and Stacy's like, how is it? He said, it's good, but that's just Eddie. He wasn't really eating it. I'm saving room for the other food. So they're eating his potluck lunch. I feel like that is all that happened, or at least those are all the notes I have. This event to me was a bust. Wendy, you co-hosted this event. Y'all ambushed Angel in front of her children, in front of her husband, and made her feel badly and feeling like she needed to explain herself again. I want her to defend herself better. I'm with Sharon on that. And she's going to have to do better, but there's no excuse to treat someone like that. I don't like that at all. So we next get a scene at Tia and Rob's house. Tia, I don't care that y'all on TV. These children don't care anything about these cameras. The two girls are there. They're sulking. The little boy, he's kind of listening. The little girl, she's sitting there looking. Tia has 4 or 5 children. Sometimes I can't remember. I feel like it's 5. So Rob's like, okay, we're going to start out. We're going to take volunteers for the chores. Rob, this is the exact wrong road. I'm from a family. I'm number 7 out of 8 children. We had 1 heavenly brother, and we didn't get assignments or anything like that. They told you what you were going to do. You didn't get to volunteer or sign up. So my sister and my younger sister and myself, we were on clothes, washing. So none of the kids stepped up to say what they're going to do. Tia claims, we've normally had people for that. Okay, Tia, you lean into this princess thing. It's still sounding like a shtick. I don't know. And then Tia says, who's kissing the mirrors in the house? So Nathaniel is so funny. I had done that in the past. He's 11. Now, how do people come up with these things? This little boy's kissing mirrors. So I would have him cleaning mirrors and bathrooms. He claimed he doesn't do it anymore. So next we get, Rob, he ends up with his head down on the table. He's covered in his hoodie. And Rob's like, come on, son, we're going to do the lawn. The little boy's like, I'm tired. Now they just sat down. And then the little girl, Tia's like, we'll start with this plate. Oh, I brought this in here because you said it was going to be a long meeting. So these kids are a trip. Tia has her work cut out for her. But Tia's family scenes make me laugh. Rob, you are not a taskmaster, and we don't believe it for a second. Next, we get a scene with, I thought Tia was taking one of her daughters out to lunch. I said, oh, Tia's one of her daughters. I put it in my notes. No, Tia is walking in with this beautiful young lady. It's her half sister. Oh, thank you so much. This is my first, I actually got one last night. Someone put in my chat. Y'all know I'm monetized. So thank you for, I think it's a super sticker. My $9.99 super sticker, Angela A. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support of the channel and of me. Thank you. That was really sweet. So she is at lunch with Amira, who is her half sister. Tia gives a confessional. She says she started to get to know this lady, her sister, after her dad's death. We find out this man had 2 children during the marriage. So Tia, in consolidation with her mother, feels like she couldn't be close to them. But she also says in a confessional, I see now why my dad wanted all of us to be together. So as she's older, they start to become friends. This lady is beautiful, y'all. She lives in the capital of Nigeria. Did she say Abu Bajan? I can't remember. I should have written it down. But she still lives in Nigeria. She's a Nigerian princess as well, y'all. She is beautiful. Her speaking voice, her accent, everything is lovely. It's not as exaggerated as Tia's, but we know Tia was a child in Nigeria and lived in England for a while. So she has that British thing going on too. Amira just has that really smooth accent that some of the, I would say I won't say higher class. I don't want anybody to get offended, that certain Nigerians have. Now there's other language that you hear also. If you ever got your hair braided, okay. Not everybody, but some, okay, just like any group. So they are speaking, and it was funny. Tia says, well, I'll be the big sister. One of the, whatever they ordered, one was non-alcoholic, but Tia was going to have her little bit of drinks with her lunch. And they're getting along well. So I thought that was really sweet that her sister came here to visit the kids. And she said, well, do the kids remember me? And Tia's like, of course, they remember you. Production shows us a picture of when Amira first met her nieces and nephews. And like I said, Amira looks just like Tia's older daughters. Beautiful, beautiful lady. So next we have a scene where Stacy and Tiamo are home. He's working out. Production, for some reason, keeps showing us scenes of when she would have TJ on. That's the rumored hired boyfriend. I partially believe that. I don't believe he was a boyfriend. I also don't believe she agreed to give this man half her income. And I don't know what the deal is with that, but production keeps showing TJ and her husband or her ex-husband, but they're back together. TMO and she are working out. Stacy's doing her own little thing that she does. Of course, sis. Thank you, Angela A. I appreciate that. Sharon Gabo, Sandra P. I'm giving Tia a chance, but it's just something about her I don't like. Yeah, she's trying a little hard. Something may not be authentic. I don't know what it is, but it'll come to me. And she's kind of like a pick me, because her and Stacy are really almost in the same boat. They could be friends. Now, Stacy does tell these little lies to everybody that's very annoying, but some of Tia's reactions seem kind of outsized, or maybe to impress Gizelle and Ashley. And I'm not sure I like that. I don't think these two need to be impressed. I think they need to be pressed upon. I want the other ladies to gang up and set Gizelle back on her heels, because I'm tired of her. I'll take her when she's funny and moving the story along. But over here lying on people about being evicted and getting ready to lie on their husband, I'm not here for that. So Stacy is saying, oh, if I work out like this, she's doing the medicine ball, y'all. Is this going to help my butt get bigger? And TMO's like, well, I hope not. Now, Stacy, you know what that man likes. That is your husband or your ex-husband. So don't worry about big old butt. And then she's letting us know that Ashley's bunions are not the only thing that's been on her counter. I forgot Ashley did that, y'all. Production shows us a scene where Ashley's like, oh, yeah, you want to see my bunion? She was at Stacy's house. This girl put her whole foot up. Unlike Sheila, Ashley does wear shoes. She put her whole foot up onto Stacy's counter to show her bunion. First one foot, and then put that leg down and put the other foot up on this lady's kitchen counter, y'all. I would have kicked Ashley out. People get upset when anybody brings up Candace, but we need Candace back to wrangle Ashley. She is disgusting. Key1 J, you feel the same way about Tia? We got to keep watching her. Miss Shine, I'm with you. Tia is messy. Yeah, she knows how to do kind of certain things undercover. She's giving you a bullseye. Yeah, we'll have to keep watching her. So as she's in those nasty bunions, she needs to try to get those off her feet instead of putting all these clothes that are wearing her on. This is ridiculous. And I remember Grand Dame actually always looking down on Ashley about stuff like that. And she is yet to change. Ashley is disgusting. Yeah, we'll get on her again because she's just, this girl is nasty. Stacy's telling TMO Bella will be happy. And TMO saying that's the most important thing for him is that Arabella is happy. And Stacy says she has an amazing father. And of course she has mom, an amazing mother. So I do notice that Arabella is a lot more outgoing and happy. Could have just been her being warmed up to the cameras. And she's very young. She's not even preteen. She seems like 9 or 10. Sometimes they come with that little attitude, but I like what I see of Arabella. She's a little happy now. Remember, she had Cameron last week confiding in her. I got 3 phones. Get ready to get 4. My dad get ready to buy me another phone at the event. So we all thought that was really funny. Cameron, make sure you don't go talk to the feds or anybody else about what's going on in Wendy and Eddie's household. So we get a confessional with Angel saying, we thought we'd buy a house. We have found one by now, but we have not. So we're going to move back to Denver. Production shows us Kush running full speed around the table, being pursued by Bobby. Bobby's holding a little girl, Gaia, and they're chasing Kush. They're having a great time. And Angel is telling us it's in God's time. I agree with you, Angel. So she says when it's appropriate, they'll find what it is for them to be found, if there's something to be found in the area. But until then, they're going back to Denver. I see a lot of people do question that. Remember, these people have a home that is actually their home and their business in Denver that has all their stuff there. They don't have to pay for that. They have their paid for home in Denver, and they don't need to be carrying 2 mortgages or a mortgage here and rent there. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but they clearly prefer to be there. And I don't see anything wrong with Angel still having her job on this show. If she's asked back, if she even wants to come back. Gizelle, that's none of your business. You and Ashley are giving nothing. So Angel and Bobby are planning for the ladies to come out to what is called Wonderland. This is their business. Now they have the award-winning home. They have a Denver outside adventuring business or something like that. They do tours, luxury excursions, I believe she said. Y'all, I'm concerned for her. This is their company. These ladies are going to come out there, try to slam her, try to make her look bad, try to make her and her husband look bad. I wouldn't trust Ashley or Gizelle around anything of mine that I need to help feed my family, or just even if this is just a hobby and she doesn't need the money. And I think that's more of what it is. I wouldn't trust Ashley and Gizelle at my happy space, which I feel like Denver is where they are happy. So Wendy, I don't know. I wouldn't trust her out there either. But Angel is planning this trip and Bobby's helping. He's like, yeah, we'll do a big cookout. I'll do all the cleanup. Angel says, we'll do the cleanup. So Angel is so much more likable when she's around Bobby. He just brings out the best in her. But again, Angel, you can't always have your husband with you. She's got to be able to engage with these ladies on their level. And if they need to be backed up off her, she needs to pull out some of that confessional reading and give it to Ashley in real time and just let her bunions sit there and look stupid. We are sick and tired of Ashley. So next we see Wendy. Wendy says she's finishing the renovations. She's so glad they're not hearing any construction. And the kitchen is really nice. They show us all of the finishings, the bathroom off from that area. Wendy says, we're going to move on to the next renovation. Eddie looked worried a minute, y'all, before he started smiling again. Yikes. So she said, I kind of want a pool. It's going to be either a pool or we're going to fulfill the whole basement, fill the basement out. And Eddie's like, well, if I had a vote, Eddie, of course you have a vote. If I had a vote, I'd want a pool. Wendy's like, good. And then Eddie jokes, oh, I feel like I've been tricked into something. So this is a trip. Production, y'all know you ain't right. This is the only housewife to have a robbery or something like that. Dorit and them over there with $1 million robbery, but okay, production. So Wendy is talking about her dad in Nigeria. When Eddie asked her, what else is happening? Her dad in Nigeria, she hasn't seen him in 20 years. He's been trying to get her on the phone, but she's kind of nervous to pick up the phone. I saw that look on Eddie's face. Did you? Yeah, I did too. And I feel like Eddie, when those cameras go down and no one's around, he should have really been talking to Wendy. They're still innocent until proven guilty, but y'all, I don't like where this is going, especially with production being haters. So confessional Wendy, this is the one where she's dressed like a Christmas ornament. She's saying that I wasn't old enough to know what was going on when my mom and dad got divorced, but it really impacted me. And it was a really contentious divorce. And y'all seeing who and what Mama Susan is and how that lady acts, we can tell. So she said that she's going to go ahead and call them. Eddie's right there, and she gets on the phone with him. She hasn't really seen him in 20 years. She wants to talk about the Nigeria trip. Remember, Wendy and her family took a whole month-long vacation last year to Nigeria. Every time she tried to get in touch with this man, he was sick or he had something going on. So they stayed here a whole month and didn't see him. So she calls Dad. He's like, oh, my daughter. He gets on the phone, y'all. He got a whole man unit on, or maybe just a head full of thick black hair. I didn't believe it. I don't agree with it either. I don't think a man that age, and let me not go into how he left his family, but he was looking pretty good, y'all, considering. I don't feel like he deserved it, but he looked pretty good. He's holding up pretty well, even though, like I said, he claimed he was sick for a whole month when Wendy and her family was in Nigeria. So she said she really misses him. He said, okay. Y'all, he was doing one of those things where you are driving the conversation and he's just giving the one-word answers. So I felt it was kind of cringe. I felt really badly for Wendy. She said, I miss you. I miss my daughter too. And she said, well, Dad, we were there a month and you didn't see us. Don't cry over spilled milk. I don't want to bring up all these things from the past. This man was talking crazy, but Wendy, y'all, the look on his face, on Wendy's face, Wendy was 10 years old. Wendy was buying everything this man was selling. Let me speak to Edward. So Eddie gets on the phone. How you doing? Eddie, why are you smiling at this man who's been the source of so much pain for Wendy? So this is a trip. They give their little back and forth talking. And he's talking about it. Hard to be away from my daughter, my grandchildren. I feel like he's responsible for this. I know he and Mama Susan had a terrible divorce, but I don't understand why he's been out of Wendy's life for 2 decades. He's not explaining it now. I don't like what he's doing. I didn't think so either. Her father was not warm at all. Sharon, it's almost like he's wondering what he can get out of the situation if he comes back into Wendy's life. And Wendy alluded in a past episode, maybe if I have all these degrees and I do everything, maybe he'll want me. I'm sorry, Wendy, he won't. This man is just cold. So this whole thing is silly. She said, Dad, I'm so happy to hear from you. I'm happy to hear from you too. He was making no effort in this conversation. And Happy Eddie, you shouldn't be standing here smiling. She said, can we say, so they were still on FaceTime. We'll say goodbye. They say goodbye. I was very annoyed with this. Happy Eddie was wearing that Bring Eddie Out t-shirt. So I thought that was really funny. He said, all right, my daughter. Confessional Wendy, though, she tells us, I've decided to not have any expectations. This is what Eddie advised her of, because he's done this with his family. Low to no expectations. Manage your expectations, and then you won't be so hurt if they don't live up to what you want them to be. So Confessional Wendy claims she's going to go with the flow and see what happens. So Wendy and Eddie hug. Y'all, I don't like this for Wendy. I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. Ahmed Cunningham, welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra, and it is great to see you. Hello, friend. So I'm going to make these next two scenes short because they're involving people I don't really see it for right now. One of them I feel a little badly for, okay? The first one is Gizelle. She's not the one I feel badly for. Giselle's on a FaceTime with a lady from the National Brain Tumor Society, and they're speaking about money that was raised for them. They had a run. They had some other things going on. We know Gizelle lost her dad to a brain tumor, and it was kind of sudden. Gizelle lets us know all that stuff going on with the will is still going on with the will. And she tells us she feels closer to her dad when she is speaking about not how he passed away, but serving in a charity role for the Brain Tumor Foundation. And during this, thank you, production, they give us a view of Gizelle sitting down with Angel and Adore, who are 19 years old and gorgeous. Y'all, we love Angel and Adore. This is the best thing Gizelle has done. And also Grace, but we don't see Grace in this scene. This other very short scene that I'm not really going to cover, Greg and Kierna. Kierna's moving in again, even though they were headed on the road to marriage. Now they're not. And Kierna's claiming like she's happy as she's ever been. And we see a big box that Greg has kind of hidden. It's from Radcliffe Jewelers, but he puts it in like a moving box because he doesn't want her to know what's in it. Y'all, this is the store that the mother, Angel, and him went to looking for rings. So this man put whatever the gift is to Kierna. The reason why I'm just really short on the scene is that he gave her a picture frame from that store where he was looking at her ring. Y'all, this was just to disrespect her, in my opinion. Kierna, if you like it, we have no choice other than to love it. We're not going to really tell her too much more. She's doing whatever he wants. This lady is 38 years old and wasting her good years on this bum. And he already has a gang of children. I don't know how many, but I'm going to say a gang of, because any is too many, because Kierna has none. And he's stringing her along. We don't like it at all. Kay and Greg, in my opinion, need to be gone. Yeah, they can just go ahead and go. Welcome in, Lorcy Jones. Thank you so much for catching me during the live. I appreciate it. Good to see you. Welcome in. Thank you. So Greg and Kierna, we can't tell Kierna anything. Even Gizelle, when they were having that Busted Ponies event, she said Kierna is moving back in with Greg. And Gizelle did a whole confessional about Kierna because she got nothing else going on. She said, I'm one of the auntie says, and now I'm going to tell her that this man's not going to do anything extra for her. She's giving away her power by giving him everything he wants with no requirements. Kierna, that's true. So Kierna's moving back in. And then she tells us, well, she said Greg is, he's doing what she wants. Supposedly, they're not. There's no ring coming. This lady got a picture frame from the place where they were looking for rings. So I've spent way too much time with them. I feel badly for Kierna, but I'm kind of like Sharon. They can almost go. Just get out of here because you're not showing us, or be friend of. So then they give us a preview of the scene with Wendy, what's going to happen when she had Mama Susan over. Y'all, this is crazy. Let's see, Tia and Amira, they already met for lunch. Okay, this is actually the scene now then. We have Cruz and Cameron are coming down the steps, and Wendy's like, how are you going to greet them? Because, y'all, they love themselves some Mama Susan. One thing children love is an inappropriate relative. They really do, because Mama Susan is too much. So Dr. Wendy yells, Mom is here. Wendy's coaching them on how to greet her. And then we see Carter, Cruz are wearing either Happy Eddie or Bring Eddie Out, some other kind of t-shirt for the business. So I thought that was cute. Cameron is dressed exactly like Wendy. She is Wendy's little mini me. She's in a little pink dress, kind of similar to what Wendy has on. So that is so cute. Mama Bees is speaking to Lorcy Jones. Welcome in, Lorcy. So Confessional Wendy is saying, okay, mom has a lot of opinions, and we know Mama Susan does. She says, I hope she likes it. I hope she's proud of me. Y'all, here is Wendy with this again. My heart goes out to Wendy when she's like this. And I think this is why she's such a pick-Misha for Gizelle, too, and Ashley. I like Wendy, but when she gets like this, it kind of makes me angry at her, honestly. So the kids are there. Happy Eddie is there. Wendy is showing, the sister name is Ivy. The sister looks just like Wendy, but kind of with Wendy's old face. Wendy is like a new and improved version of how they look. So not Mama Susan, though, y'all. Mama Susan, in addition to these colored contacts she's wearing, I don't know if it's bleaching that she's doing, but she's doing something to take the melanin and pigment out of her skin. And it just it takes me aback when I see her. It's just too much. Thank you so much, CC. Please like the live and subscribe. Thank you. So they're all in the kitchen. Wendy has a beautiful spread. She has jollof rice and some other things. And the plates and everything that Wendy saw, that Wendy set out, the layout was beautiful. When I saw that on the table, it was gorgeous. So Wendy is fixing a plate. And here's where Mama Susan went wrong with me. She said, is that mine? You can fix it to go. That's exactly how she said it. Y'all, they weren't even arguing or anything yet. So Wendy's looking a little bit awkward. And Susan said, well, I told you not to buy a new house. So I guess Mama Susan is the one that encouraged all these renovations. We get a confessional from Wendy saying, thank you for giving me the advice. But it was kind of sarcastic that she said it. So then for some reason, they were just talking about the food. I think Wendy's going to switch over to make Mama Susan's plate to go. That's kind of rude, Mama Susan. You just got there. But Wendy starts talking about the dad. This is when we knew it wasn't going to go well. Sharon says, it is too much what her mother has done to her face. Thank you, Kiwan J. Kiwan J was in the bushes, but she'll catch the replay and see y'all. See you, and I will catch you when you finish. Remember, y'all, if you just came in, Kiwan J TV also has a channel. She reviews not only this show, other reality-based shows, and then she adds scripted TV as well. So join her over there, Kiwan J TV. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. Team Replay, thank you as well. So Wendy and Mama Susan and Ivy are in the kitchen. This lady does not want to hear Wendy talk about her dad. Wendy starts talking about they rekindled a little bit on the phone. She was so glad to hear from him. She's going to be in touch again. Mama Susan's face is getting more and more upset, like literal storm clouds. This woman does not have a poker face. Ivy was a little bit sweeter. I agree with the way Ivy put it. Ivy is a sister. Ivy let us know in earlier scenes, other episode, I'm more hands-off with dad. I don't have any expectations of him, but Wendy, I don't want her hurt by him. So she's saying, as long as you feel good about it, but he's notorious for getting your hopes up, not keeping his promises. She doesn't want Wendy to be hurt. So I agree with Ivy, Wendy's sister. So Mama Susan pipes up after Wendy says, I don't want to cut off ties because he gave birth to me. Mama Susan said, I gave birth to you. He did not give birth to you. This lady started going off. She said, he's a freaking sperm donor. I was so shocked to hear her say that. Y'all, they were married. They were actually a married couple. Now, he left the family. There's some question and controversy as to why. But according to Mama Susan, he left me with 4 kids and I had to work 4 jobs and all this kind of stuff. Maybe she didn't say 4 kids. Maybe I added a couple of kids. But I know they have Wendy and Ivy. Wendy has 4 degrees, count them, 4. And Mama Susan is getting money out of her investment. Wendy sends her an allowance because Mama Susan says she worked 4 jobs to help put Wendy through school. So after she calls the dad a freaking sperm donor, that was kind of rude. That's true in some cases, but within a marriage, come on, Mama Susan. Wendy says, that's not fair. And then she says, Cruz, will you take Cameron and Carter upstairs? Mama Susan continues to yell, and Wendy was like, wait. And she said, don't do that to me. That's rude. But I don't think Wendy was being rude. She was just, okay, give me a minute and we'll continue the conversation. So Wendy says, you can talk to me, but I'm going to protect them. Y'all, Mama Susan got so reckless about her mouth This lady, I feel I'm gonna have to watch the scene again, but I feel like I heard her say, "Oh, you protect them now from me? You done worse, Mama Susan." The feds and everybody are listening and watching. Did y'all hear Mama Susan say something crazy like that? Y'all, Wendy was trying to have a poker face, but she was getting ready to cry. I wonder how many degrees Ivy has. Yeah, see, I wonder too. It seems like Ivy is maybe the sister that's not as, Wendy's the odd one out, but she's valued because of what she can give to them. Ivy might feel like a little the odd one out, but she's always team Mama Susan, it looks like. So I'm wondering that too. So Susan is saying, don't do that, don't do that. Because Wendy just gestured to her. That was disrespectful. She said, and you don't even know your African culture, that's disrespectful. I've always seen Wendy as being very proud of her Nigerian culture. And Mama Susan is throwing out stuff that is crazy. She was waiting to go off on Wendy. She was like, Wendy, I'm already pissed off. Don't make me more pissed off. Sharon says, in my opinion, it seems Wendy is looking for love and acceptance from her parents, and all her parents are looking for is money. Doesn't it seem that way, Sharon? That just hurts my feelings for Wendy. Wendy is exceptional. For anybody's daughter, anybody's child would be glad to have a Dr. Wendy. That's Dr. Wendy to you, sweetie. I think she told Ashley that. 4 degrees. Count them. 4 degrees. She used to drag Grandam with that. I tell you, they never liked her because of that. Cruz, though, they panned on Cruz's face. Cruz looked just like a happy Eddie Jr., which he is. He didn't want to leave. But as it was getting heated, he grabbed his sister and little brother. They went upstairs. So Mama Susan is still yelling and talking crazy. Cece heard what Mama Susan was saying. The way Mama Susan talks about and acts, one can tell why the ex-husband left. However, that doesn't abdicate his role as an active father. Exactly, Cece. He could have been in Wendy's life because Wendy has been an adult for some time. She's 40 years old. She hadn't seen this man in 20 years or really talked to him. That's not Mama Susan's fault, even though, as we can see from this scene, Mama Susan is wild. And y'all, I think she'll put hands and feet on you too, if she needed to. So Ivy is sitting there, and she's not really trying to calm things down. Wendy's like, you see what she's doing? She's trying to get a moment because Mama Susan has jumped up, acting like she's going to take her pocketbook and leave. I wonder if she took the to-go plate. So she's like, don't piss me off more. Cameron and the boys have gone upstairs. Mama Susan is still shouting that she has had to work 4 jobs. I came here to see the renovation, not hear about the man who abandoned me, 4 children. And then she acted like she was getting ready to cry, or at least make a cry face. She's still yelling and furious. And Wendy said, Ivy, you see what she's doing. You know she needs a moment. I'm not going to do this. You see what she's doing. So we get a confessional with Wendy saying the hurt is still deep for my mom because he did leave her. And she's basically saying what Cece says. They had it rough. They got divorced, but that's no excuse for him to abdicate his conversation. So Mama Susan has sat back down, y'all. She is furious. Now, she's the one being disrespectful. Did y'all see her picking her teeth at the table? So evidently she was eating some of that jollof rice that she was still trying to get to go. Y'all, this is sickening. So in the confessional, Wendy says, and I know she's upset, but don't give me the energy that should have been given to my dad. Because y'all, I believe that. This lady, I don't think she would have been flying up in this man's face saying all this. So Ivy is now saying that, well, that was disrespectful when Wendy pointed at Susan. I think she was just saying, you know, give me a minute to let the kids get out of there. But Mama Susan went off. Eddie returns and Susan yells, you coming to support your wife? Eddie should have said, and what if I am? Y'all are going crazy in here. He says, no, he want to calm the situation. Voices are being raised. Eddie is a calming influence. Mama Susan has the nerve to say to Eddie, you the head of this house. Tell your wife going crazy. Your wife, she doing too much. Eddie knows that that's not the case, but he's a peaceful person, so he let Mama Susan have that. So Wendy's doing a cry face too. So she's saying, you know how all of this is happening? She's doing all this in front of the kids. So Wendy has no tears, but she's doing the cry voice to Eddie. She mouths to Eddie, I want them to get the F out my house. Ivy happened to be watching Wendy. She said, what? You want us to get the F out your house? You saying you want us to get the F out your house? So Susan yells, kiss her. I believe she said kiss her A. I'm not sure what that note is, but Susan y'all, Mama Susan got very vulgar. She said, "Shut the F up, Wendy." I didn't like this at all. So Ivy she has sided with Mama Susan, y'all. And then she told Wendy something like, "Get the F out of here," something she said. So she says she didn't like how Wendy was trying to act like everything is so great and the kids have such a great granddad. And Ivy is saying, yeah, it is kind of strange that you would now try to protect his image in front of the kids. I got Ivy's point, but I don't think this was the time based on how Mama Susan went off on Wendy in her own house when she was bringing them in to see this renovation. And it just felt like, I don't know if Mama Susan got jealous. I don't know what it was, but y'all, this was terrible. This was really sad. This scene, poor Wendy, I see what she's going through. So Eddie is really upset. He's concerned. He's kind of holding Wendy. Mama Susan has finally jumped up to really leave. Bye, Mama Susan. We don't like all this in the house, to bring all this into someone's new space. So we get a confessional with Wendy saying, this is why I want a relationship with my dad, because when it's just the three of us and then the two of them always against me, I'm always alone. So she's telling Happy Eddie that too. Her and Eddie's kind of holding her, trying to console her. Wendy is really upset now. And she's telling him, I want my dad around because look at what the two of them are doing. We hear Ivy say, take the mic off me. Ivy takes the mic off. Mama Susan is running out the door. And she said, I'm always alone. When it's the three of us, it's them two against me. I'm always alone. Eddie says, you are not alone. So y'all, that was the end of the episode. That was the most charged part of the episode. We got a lot of little filler things that happened. That horrific potluck lunch that Wendy helped throw. I have to give it a 7. And really, the major points of it came during the scene, this scene. And I will give it more points for us finding out that Ashley might be allegedly the predator when she's telling other people, or Gizelle is telling people that they're not safe to be around husbands and kids. And all the meantime, it's Ashley. Ivy's a jealous sister. It's looking like that. I have seen her take Wendy's side before, but the way she upheld Mama Susan in her very, very wrong reactions, I thought it was terrible. You give it a 6. Yeah, Sharon, I can't even argue with that grade. I'm giving it a 7 because of the last scene, but the episode really didn't do all that much. So we get a preview. We're going to have Monique that is at a party. They're giving some type gifts. And Angel is telling us that she's not going to be disrespected in her own home. Angel, let's hope that's the case. My goodness. I don't know what is going to happen in Colorado. We see an amazing view from Angel's Colorado home. And then Angel again saying something about bad energies not allowed on her property. I think this is a bad idea all around. I'm getting a little nervous. Cece is saying, I can't with the RHOP ladies hosting a potluck. We do not watch Housewives for potlucks. I want to see private chefs and all. 6. Cece, I probably should have taken another point. So with the 2 6s, we got Sharon and Cece giving it a 6. I was trying to be nice. I gave it a 7. But RHOP, you still at a 65%. You got some extra credit to do. You have some making up to do. Because why should we be the poor franchise? And y'all know what I'm talking about. Even Atlanta tried to fake the funk better than this. But yeah, we had a Popeye. I passed by Popeyes on the way home. Anybody can get Popeyes. Do something that we aspire to and that we like to see. Private chef. So yes, a 6. And other than that, it was okay. Wendy, I'm understanding a lot more of what's going on with Dr. Wendy and her need for acceptance. Looking at the father and then looking at Mama Susan. Ashley, you've been outed. You've taken on Michael Darby's predatory behavior. Ashley, bobblehead Darby. We got a Sharice sighting. Just go ahead and give Sharice a friend of or something. She's at the events anyway. Different things happen. Sharice can make you laugh. Stacy's got this feud going. She don't really like Sharice, so I find that funny. Kay, you're going to have to take it to the house. I'd like to see Angel without Kay, unless they're both going to step it up again. And no more Greg. Please, no more Greg. Give us a breakup storyline. Because I don't care for Kay, but she doesn't deserve that. A gift box from the same place you were supposed to get the ring, and it's a picture frame. You should have cursed him all the way out. And then not moved in. But everybody, thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra during this review of Real Housewives of Potomac. We don't want them to be poor, Potomac. They're going to have to step it up and do a little bit better. Cece said no more potlucks. So thank you everyone that joined. Team Replay, thank you as well. Like the video, subscribe if you have not already. See you in the YouTube streets, and I'll leave up Sharon's comment. She says, see ya. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Have a great day, y'all. Goodbye. CC, blessed day, everyone. Thank you.